good start. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room. More specifically, welcome back to the LFC Chat Room. What a weird feeling this is, eh? Back on the grind. It's been, if you've been following the channel for a while, it's been pretty quiet few months from myself, but from the team in general. Bit of the old fatigue setting in. We've been non-stop second half of last season at least, all the way through to the summer, all the way up until September, October time. We were non-freaking stop. Streaming every single day, posting videos, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a bloody day, and I think that the fatigue that players get when they've played a Euros, then a full season. Liverpool last year playing 68 games or something ridiculous like that. I think we got a feeling of what that was like from a content creation side. So we've had a bit of a break, bit of a rethink. And we are back. We thought we'd let the World Cup get underway, get the group stages out, wait until there's a break, because I know not many people are going to want to watch us whilst there's a World Cup game on. I back us, but we're not that good. We're not that good to beat Spain knocking out Morocco on penalties, etc. So now feels like a good time. To kind of get back into the swing of things and start to bring back some content. Of course, Liverpool's first competitive game after the World Cup is in 2 weeks. It's in 2 weeks from today, 22nd of December, away fixture in the Carabao Cup against Man City. So that should be a good laugh. Two teams who are essentially starting their seasons again in terms of, match fitness, sharpness, players playing together, that kind of thing. That's going to be a strange one. I'm so glad that people are actually back. we took the piss a bit. Jen, Anthony, Matthias, Ant, and Hyler is back. I'm so happy. It's great to see you all, and I hope you are doing well. There is stuff to talk about today, but I think more than anything, this is a chance for us to reconnect a little bit. So, as usual with the chat room, get anything, everything down into that live chat. In terms of what you can expect from us going forwards, I think this Sunday after Sunday, after the quarterfinals have been played, we'll have a group stream with some of the lads, some of the geezers on the chat, and then Monday we'll have chat room again. Chat room's going to become sort of a twice a week kind of thing, so get used to seeing my face. We're probably going to back it down a little bit on watch-alongs, so for now, unless it's a game that's not on telly or is a massive game, so like Man City or a Champions League semi-final, etc., unless it's something like that, we're probably going to leave watch-alongs for a little bit. So Liverpool versus Bournemouth, we were not going to do watch-alongs for those for the time being, just the way things, availability and fatigue and all that good kind of stuff, which sounds stupid to talk about, doesn't it, when it comes to sitting in front of a camera just chatting shit for 90 minutes, but we want to be in this for the long run, so we just got to kind of be sensible, scale it back, and do the right thing. Super Cup, so is that the friendlies that we're playing? Because I know we've got Leon on Sunday. To be honest with you, I will probably not do those, but maybe, I don't know, honestly don't know. But the Man City game, I will do that, because that's our first competitive game back, big game, and it should be a lot of fun. So let's get into the chat room. We can have a chat a bit later if we want, but let's get into the chat room and some of the big talking points. Now, as you've seen from the thumbnail, you've seen from the title, or if you've come from Twitter and you've seen from the tweet, Jude Bellingham, I mean, it's never gone quiet particularly, has it? But the rumours have well and truly kicked back off again. And are we ready? Are you as a fan ready for a little bit more heartache, heartbreak when it comes to Jude Bellingham transfers? There's going to be lots of shouts that it's a done deal, or that it's very, very close, and that's what is coming out, that he prefers Liverpool, his family are focused on Liverpool, his agent. Bellingham seems to like the prospect of coming here rather than elsewhere. Are we ready? Are we ready to go through all of that again? We had the whole summer of that kind of stuff. You know, is he not? Is it going to be this summer? Is it going to be next summer? Is it going to be at all? Are Real Madrid going to come in and steal that back from us? We've got it all again. We've got it all again for this January. Look, I think if we're being realistic, it isn't going to happen January, is it? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But Borussia Dortmund are an established team when it comes to developing young talent and then selling them for a decent profit later on. And I think, you know, the general agreement that they'll have with most clubs is that we get them when the interest is high. They'll say, right, we get him for one more season, and then it's sort of all-out warfare for the signature. That's what happened with Haaland, because he had a big season, and everyone thought he was going to go, and then he was there for another, and then he got that, and then he got the transfer, and that wasn't done until the summer. So I think we'll see a similar thing with Jude Bellingham. I don't think there's too many people trying to suggest we'll get him in January. I haven't seen too much of that, although I'll probably have a look now, to be honest with you, if I'm being realistic. But everything that's coming out about him is quite vague about when it's going to happen. So, for example, CF Bayern, Christian Falk, head of football at Sport Bild, has said there's a very, very good chance of signing Bellingham because he would like to be at Liverpool, but the clubs have to talk and Liverpool have to bring the money. So, for me, like, it's a bit of a nothing statement, as is with most transfer stories. Until it's happening, it's just a nothing statement. The clubs have to talk and Liverpool have to bring the money. So, like, Bellingham's been linked to Liverpool, so therefore it's more likely that he would move there than to somewhere that he hasn't been linked to. That's all that's saying. So it's not something that I'd be particularly like interested in or following up upon. So that wraps it up. Well, thank you for coming to the LFC Transfer Room. But can we talk about Jude Bellingham in the Liverpool squad and Jordan Henderson and those two, that celebration? Oh my God. At this point, we have to sign him. We have to sign him. Because if he goes elsewhere, if he goes to Real Madrid, if Man City pipe up and get him, if Man United decide to fork out, if the new Chelsea owner decides to go in for him, that will be one of the most embarrassing things that I think has happened to us in the transfer market. Like, that, people will genuinely, you know, you see it now. Jude Bellingham signs for Real Madrid. Underneath that tweet, you would just see clips upon clips of that England celebration where Bellingham sets it up for Henderson. Henderson runs over and almost like kisses him. That's all that you would see. It's a massive cock tease by Henderson. And all the conversations that have been had, like somebody said, "Oh, Bellingham, would you go to Real Madrid?" And he said, and Henderson interrupted and was like, "No way, not allowing that." So either they know something, or Bellingham said something to them that he likes it, the prospect of moving to Liverpool, or I don't know. I genuinely don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Wait a minute. I'm just going to adjust my camera because I can see my arm keeps disappearing because I've got it really narrow. Yeah, the management of Jude Bellingham has informed Real Madrid that Liverpool are leading the race for the English midfielder this summer. Like, how excited do you get at this point, considering everything that has gone on already, all the false promises, the false, like, oh my god, this is it, this is the moment. How much more of that do you kind of accept and get excited for? I don't know. Let's see what you guys are saying. Jude is coming. Told you so. I won a party, says Jen. Of course, we've been on a break, but Jen in that time has not lost faith that Jude Bellingham is 100% on his way to Liverpool. Real Madrid out of the race, Man City out of the race. Everyone is out. We are the mega. And Dicko says Amrabat and Caicedo in January. Bellingham pre-agreement for summer. I mean, that would be... I mean, it's just against everything we've done so far, so I'd say unlikely, but that would be a dream. It would be a dream, wouldn't it? Somebody said, I think it was Sam Maguire, he tweeted that we're going to go all in for, as a hypothetical, we're actually going to end up going all in for Bellingham, £130 million or whatever, and he's going to have to play alongside James Milner for most of next season because that'll probably be the only midfield signing we make. But I mean, potentially for a while, if you follow, I guess, our history, it's taken us this long to get a midfielder, and then when we do, it's our biggest deal ever in club history. If it's still FSG, they're not going to be likely to want to spend much more on that area of the pitch, are they? Kieran McCarthy says, I just can't let myself get too excited because it won't be until the summer. Technically, anything can happen. So are you faithful that it will happen in the summer, though? Or is that part of why you can't get that excited? No new investments partner has turned up yet for FSG. Well, I think the most recent was like a joint enterprise of like Saudi Arabia and somebody. Don't know if I can find that quickly. When I go back through the news segment, all I get is, oh, that's it. A joint Saudi-Qatari consortium have emerged as strong early contenders to buy Liverpool after joining forces to avoid becoming embroiled in a bidding war. Interest also from German and American investors. £3 billion offer being prepared to purchase Liverpool. I don't know. It doesn't particularly excite me until something more concrete. But again, as soon as that becomes available, the first thing I'm doing is searching up who these people are and what their kind of history is, because I'm not having Newcastle's owners. I'm not having like Mohammed bin Salman. I'm not doing it. I think I would in some ways have to kind of walk away, if we're being honest. Hyla says, Falk says his father Mark and mother Denise are in negotiations together with his agent Mark Burnett. They are focused on Liverpool. Philip Bidwell, good to see you, says, if we win Bellingham's signature, when will it be likely, as we need midfielders in January? But in my opinion, Jude isn't worth £100 million at the moment. Maybe he would in 2 to 3 years' time. So that's interesting. I mean, it's obviously dictated by the market that we're in, and every year everyone gets more and more expensive, inflation and all that stuff. So yeah, is he worth £100 million? You could say not yet, but the fact that everyone kind of knows he would be, Borussia Dortmund are in no position to take a massive loss on that. If that's what they see him being worth, well, then they're going to say, well, you're going to have him, or you're going to look to have him for the prime of his career, and we're going to be giving him to you. So we demand what his future worth is going to be, essentially. So yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think we get him for below. Maybe I'm off the mark. I don't think we get him for below 100 million. If we're being honest. Qatar not interested apparently, says Ant Dicko. The news has slowed down on that. I mean, it's because of the World Cup. It's because of the World Cup. There's just not much news on anything, which is quite incredible. Like how quiet everything around Liverpool has been. But it's because of the World Cup. Nobody cares about club football at the minute. Hylas says, seen the video from last night when Bellingham and Henderson went to the restaurant, and the celebration after the Henderson goal is now already legendary. It's legendary now, but as I said, if we don't sign him, then it's not as legendary. It's embarrassing. So we have to get it over the line now. What have I already read? Henderson said on the video, with the Madrid fans, it's done. I mean, if that was true, he wouldn't be able to say it. So that's not really anything to get too excited about. Milner, Keita, or Ox leave on freeze in the summer. Well, we need to bring at least 2 or 3 midfielders in the summer, don't we? Henderson and Trent couldn't have done any more. Literally not moved from Bellingham. Yeah, all the pictures from training is one of those two with him. Hyla says, from what rumours I pick up in my circles, FSG want like-minded investors. So that will please not many people if it's yet more, American investors, essentially, an investment group or what have you, like Redbird Capital, like Fenway Sports. They're not going to like it, and there's very few people who could buy us that will take us to that next level that everybody wants in terms of spending output, who are different enough from FSG that you won't instantly dislike them because they're not going to spend, or is so mega rich that when you look at how they got that or how they've maintained that money, you start to question, do I want my club associated with somebody like that? Can I cheer on a player who's been bought with the money that comes from that? If that makes sense. So I don't know. And Dicker says, totally agree with you. The fact Newcastle fans try to validate their owners every day, couldn't be bothered. Yeah, I mean, look, just own it. Just own up to it. If you don't want... I'm not saying that... I think people get the wrong idea when I talk about this and they think I'm like patronising or condescending, but... And this is going to sound it anyway, but I hope you understand what I mean. If you want to keep supporting your club, like if you're a Newcastle fan and you want to keep supporting them, that's fine. Do that. Cheer every goal like it's a Champions League final. Brilliant. That's what football's there for. But when someone mentions your owners, you don't have to back them. You don't have to pretend or, as you say, validate what they are, what they've done and what they're doing. Or the same with Man City. Sports washing can exist and you can still support your team if you want. But I'm just saying, just be upfront about it. Just be honest about it. What's the point in being in denial? I don't understand it. Don't understand it at all. Do you keep your comments coming though? Much appreciated. It's good to be back more than anything. This is just getting back into the swing of things. I haven't sat in front of a camera and talked for half an hour for a good 2-3 months now. So it's much appreciated. Got my new mic stand and everything. I'm living it, swings and what have you. Well, it's the good life. I just don't see us getting Bellingham or new owners. With Bellingham, I'm getting Fekir vibes. So you think, God blimey. I mean, that is the most disappointing version, isn't it? So this time next year, we're sat here, we still don't have Bellingham, and it's still FSG at the helm. What a world that... I mean, that's something that's very possible. Like, that is genuinely very possible, but nobody's kind of thinking that way, because I guess everybody, wants change. Ant says, massive difference between us, City and Newcastle. They ate built on sand. We are a huge club already. Matthias says, I miss club football as my country didn't qualify for the World Cup. Of course. What's been everyone's favourite game or moment from the World Cup so far? Let me know. I didn't get to see the Morocco penalty shootout. I was just constantly refreshing the bloody Sky Sports commentary thing on my phone because I was on the train home from work and I didn't see it. Love the setup, says Rigo. Thank you very much, Rigo. Much appreciated. Chris, good to see you, says England has a lot of bad history. Get over how the money is there. FSG need to sell up after they put the club up for sale. They've put their cards on the table. And Mara says, do you think we'll get Bellingham? So, well, this is kind of what this stream is about. It's, are we ready for at least another month in January, and then it obviously quietens off in February, but then another summer of hoping and praying. I mean, okay, now I'm looking at the video where they're having dinner together, Henderson and Bellingham. I mean, what is all that about? That's got to mean something. It's got to mean something. But if it does, it's not going. It's going to be in the summer. So we've got to go all the way through January with every news outlet that's not got much credibility being like, "Oh, it's happening. It's happening in the coming weeks," and then it doesn't, and we're all gutted because we've, against all logic, let our hopes get up, haven't we? I fear for the future of Liverpool with FSG. It feels like hokey cokey with this sale. Bellingham is done provided the cheque doesn't bounce. Way too much smoke without there being fire. Yeah, I think that's a realistic way of looking at it. And Hyler says the Premier League committee in England is hard at work to finally try to legislate a new law to validate new owners for the Premier League, but don't hold your breath. Yeah, but that's too late, isn't it? Like, are they going to backdate that? Are they going to look at Man City's owners, Newcastle's owners? Because then, and I don't even want to get into this realm of like, well, who's got the worst human rights records, or you've got billionaire owners who are on that list but we don't, and we're not allowed them now, and that's not fair. But that is kind of where we're going. If that's the case, I don't know how. I don't know anything about it or how that would work, but that's the guess that I'm coming up with here, that it would be, checking new owners, their background, and whether they pass what the Premier League deems worthy. I don't know. But how you implement that at a start point, and when people who wouldn't have passed that are already owning Premier League clubs, and now you're stopping other league clubs from being bought by the same kind of people, I don't know how that makes sense. It's all in the financial fair play. They've got to find a way of making that stick. I mean, Man City is still under investigation, aren't they? Still unlikely something will happen, but they are still under investigation, I believe. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Hyler will probably know the answer to that. Sofrat looks good as a low-cost midfielder that can play with or back up Fabinho. I mean, that is another position that we desperately need, isn't it? Bellingham can't play there, shouldn't play there, would be a massive waste playing there. We need another midfielder, and that midfielder, after Bellingham, it needs to be a Fabinho backup. Maybe just about starting to get back to a decent spell of form at club level anyway. But I feel like the tide's kind of turned against Fabinho now. Like, even if he does start to play a bit better, I think a lot of stuff's come out, of his misses and him and the Brazilian elections and their standpoint on that has been quite revealing in terms of not only him, but a lot of the Brazilian squad, I think. Their kind of viewpoint is quite strange. Charlie, good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Member for 5 months, up there with me and Jen. So remember, like and subscribe, and you can also become a member to support our heroic comeback to the world of content creation. Become a member. I think it's $3. I can't remember how much it is. But have a look. Link is in the video description, and you'll get access to badges, emojis, special emojis that can be used in the live chat to show your support, and all your money goes towards helping us create new content for you. And it says we messed this up, only ourselves to blame. Newcastle literally in Saudi now wearing a green shirt. It says everything. Man City has make-believe sponsors. Oh my God, yes. So that's something that I wanted to brush on, actually. Bloody Man City sponsors, right? Oh, who are they? 8xBet? So that straight away, I can't see their sponsor. I can't see their Twitter account. But basically, they have a very recently made Twitter account with like 50 followers or something. Here it is. Right, so 8xBet, the sponsor, the betting partner of Manchester City, a global superpower at this point in terms of spending output alone, backed by some of the wealthiest people in the world, a Premier League club, week in, week out, Champions League football, Premier League winners, triple English, all the English Cups in one season, and their betting partner has 73 followers and joined in January 2022, and like they've just got nothing. Like there's nothing there. On top of that, I mean, they follow all the Man City lot. They follow Cristiano Ronaldo. That's interesting. But yeah, and somebody did an investigation. Gavin Nichols, thank you very much for subscribing. Massive, massive, massive. Much appreciated. Someone did an investigation. They tried to find out who the CEO was, and they couldn't find one. Like, no matter who they tried to contact, there was just nothing. There was no information. They've got no offices. I mean, the website is crap. I'm just looking at it. I'm sure this is just like a reskin of something else, and it's like the most base level stuff. Like, I bet if I pressed on some of this casino stuff, it would just take me to another website. And I think what's most surprising about that, like we know Man City is dodgy. We know they create companies at will to sponsor themselves. But like this one is so bad, like anybody with a brain would notice that this is beyond reasonable doubt, sketchy as hell. And I don't know if that's just them getting to the point where they're like, sod it, it doesn't actually matter. No one's going to do anything, because that's what's happened. Nothing has been done. You know, beyond Twitter, this never went anywhere. Like there was nothing on Sky Sports about it. Talk Sport, any newspapers, I don't think particularly would have mentioned it. Seriously anyway. So maybe their data or what have you just taught them that we don't need to go to all this effort to try and make anything look legit. We'll just throw it out there, and people might call it out, but eventually they'll forget about it, and all's good. And that's what that looks like to me. So very bizarre, very, very bizarre. Jen's posted, "Hey Jude is coming, baby." She's also been a member for 5 months. Thank you very much, Jen. Please do consider becoming a member, by the way. I'm a member, Charlie's a member, and Jen's a member. Chyla says, "If the gap in valuation is as big as Falk is mentioning, this will take a while to sort out. Liverpool's valuation of Bellingham is 100 million euros and Dortmund is 150 million euros. I mean, 100 is hard for me to swallow, but as I said earlier, with the way that his value will go up, and it's like quite obvious that it's going to go up, I could kind of live with it, especially because of the way we pay things. It will be in increments. 150 million though, I don't know. Is 100? Would you spend 150 million for Jude Bellingham? Or okay, would you get Jude Bellingham for 150 million euros and one other midfielder, or would you get 3 midfielders? And that can be anybody else. I haven't thought about it. It's not a particularly good question, but get your brains thinking, eh? The difference between us, City, Newcastle is I think you already typed that one out, mate. Andy, good to see you, says, "Who does everyone think has been the best Liverpool performer at the World Cup apart from Bellingham?" LOL. Well, I think Henderson's looked pretty good. Konate's been all right with France. I mean, their attack has mainly been doing the work, but I mean, that's quite massive for Konate to be kind of almost leading that back line. Anybody with a brain, yes, but this is England. Well, yeah. Anybody, and with eyes and with a conscience. The fact that Newcastle fans have to, already read that one as well. Let Jude make history at Anfield. It's what he wants. Well, maybe it is. Maybe he's just playing along for the lulz when he then moves to Real Madrid and he can give a bit of that. I don't know. Maybe he's like really giving it like, oh yeah, Henderson, mate, I love you. I'm definitely moving. Trent, I want to be your coach buddy for away days. I'm going to come to Liverpool. It's going to be fantastic. And then they're all like, oh yeah, let's buddy up to him and make it, get fans excited. And then Jude's just going to F off somewhere else. That's where my mind goes. I don't care how much Bellingham is within reason because we haven't spent much in a decade compared to other teams in net spend anyway. Yeah, good point. But then again, I guess the question stems from the fact that FSG are our owners and it will be Bellingham potentially on his own or 2 to 3 other midfielders. If we get Bellingham, it's way more unlikely that we sign any other midfielders. Jen, thank you very, very much for the donation. Never cease to stop spending on us, do you? Unbelievable. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. It's been good, isn't it? It's been good to be back. I think this is a nice little intro, welcome back, family reunion type thing. And we can try to... Yeah, Jen nearly financed the Bellingham deal by now. We'll have to give it all to the club and let them use it. No, honestly, it's been a good way to get back into things. Start slow, start a little bit shorter. Sunday, we'll have a stream for you. So going forward, just to explain again for anybody who joined after the beginning, we're scaling back a little bit. We've had our big expansion. We went from 2K to 6K in a matter of months. Now we're going to streamline the channel. So we're going to stream a little bit less, still multiple streams a week, still a few videos every week as well, but it won't be the religious daily streams that you're used to. Maybe in January, if things start to heat up, we'll be on as and when there's news. But apart from that, it's going to be more, a little bit more concise. We're going to have chat room twice a week. Twice a week we're going up to now on the chat room, so that's exciting news. Probably Mondays and Thursdays as a general rule of thumb. Then we'll have previews for games, previews for every single game, post-match reaction to every single game, and a dedicated Transfer Central once or twice a week, depending on if it is indeed a transfer window or if there's stories or not. The real question now to be answered: whatever happened in Torquay, Louis? I have no idea how you've... did I mention that? I don't think I was streaming back then. But Torquay, it was... we had a FA Cup game. Hampton and Richmond Borough, my local non-league team, we had a FA Cup 4th qualifying round game at Torquay. Torquay are in the division above us, so that was like it was a big game. And we drew 2-2, got the replay back at our place, took the lead and then lost 2-1, and that was on my birthday. So that was, the less said about that, the better. It still haunts us to this day. Kieran says there are plenty of other low value options that can come in for midfield alongside Bellingham just to add depth for what we're going to lose in the summer. Yeah, and that's the big caveat, isn't it, to Bellingham coming in, is that we are going to lose a lot of depth in the midfield. But then again, they've been those ones have been injured all the time, so we haven't really noticed, and we won't notice their departure, will we? But if we can fill those squad numbers, those spaces with more reliable players, even if the quality maybe isn't at the peak level like a Bellingham, I think that will go a long way to appeasing a lot of people. What about those Amrabat links in January? Yes, a lot of people have mentioned Amrabat, so I'll make sure that that's a topic of discussion for Sunday stream when we have a group stream. So yeah, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? But yes, thank you very, very much, everybody, for tuning in. It's great that so many people have actually come back. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe this would be a bit of a quiet one, but many, many familiar faces back in full force. So good to see you all. Hope you've had a nice, fun little half an hour getting back into the swing of things. The familiar setup around me, familiar faces in the live chat. And yeah, it's good to be back. So we will see you on Sunday, and I will see you on Monday. Let's get back into it. Football's coming back. Yeah, take care. Have a nice Friday.